Hello, Alex here, and in this video I want to talk about the Canon New F-1 and batteries. What batteries you need, when you need them, how to check the power level, and how to change them when they die. Let's get into it. The Canon New F-1 was Canon's final FD mount flagship 35mm SLR, replacing the Canon F1N, which itself was a variant of the Canon F1. Note, it does not say the word new anywhere on this camera, and a constant question I get asked is how to tell the difference between the two. And the answer is in the stepped top plate. I'll throw some B-roll footage up here and some comparison images, but you can see the step in the top plate on the Canon New F1, which doesn't exist in either the F1 or the F1N, and that's the easiest way to tell them apart. Unlike the F1 and F1N, which are fully mechanical cameras but with a light meter, the Canon New F1 is a hybrid electromechanical camera with some shutter speeds controlled mechanically and some controlled electronically. Aside from that, the camera also introduced more advanced shooting and metering options, like an aperture priority viewfinder, which wasn't an option for the original F1 and F1N, which only had manual exposure and optional shutter priority finders. When shooting at speeds ranging from 1/2000th of a second down to 1/125, that's 1/125th of a second, or when shooting in bulb mode, or when using the maximum flash sync speed of 1/90th of a second, noted by the lightning bolt on the dial, this is a purely mechanical camera and requires no power to operate. Obviously, you would still need a battery for the meter, but the shutter will still fire. All other shutter speeds ranging from 1/60th of a second down to 8 seconds require power in the camera to operate, and if there is no battery in the camera when you shoot those speeds, it defaults to the 1/90th of a second, the mechanical backup override of 1/90th of a second. The camera works perfectly with silver oxide, manganese and lithium type batteries, so PX28s, 4 LR44s, 4 SR44s, as well as not just the larger stacked versions, but 4 individual SR44s or LR44s will work just fine as well, so you have a wide range of options to power the camera. A better note in my experience is that the camera seems very tolerant of relatively discharged batteries. A lot of cameras I've used, like the Pentax 6.7 and the Hasselblad 2000 FCM, kind of give up on batteries very quickly. The voltage sag just isn't tolerated very well, which is why I primarily use silver oxide batteries, SR44s and the like. But this camera, it seems to just keep on trucking, because I've, for the last number of years, powered this camera with just the batteries that were dead in the other cameras. To install the battery, press this little button on the bottom of the grip to remove the grip itself, and then just pop the battery into the slot. You'll notice this pin at the bottom of the battery compartment, and that is the sensor to tell whether there is a battery installed in the camera. This helps to keep the battery in place, but I also think it's more important than some people say, because some sources say the camera works fine with a dead battery, but in my experience it doesn't, and I think this is telling the camera to expect a battery and operate in kind of hybrid mode, whereas when you remove the battery, it operates in the backup mechanical mode. So based on my experience, if the battery dies, you do have to remove it to be able to use the mechanical override, but some people say that that's not true, so I don't know if that's just my unit or if it's just some misinformation. To check how much power remains in the battery in the camera, you just have to push this button in on the side and have a look in the viewfinder. There's an indicator at the f5.6 mark, and the higher above that the meter needle goes, the more power is left in the battery. So if the meter needle barely rises above that indicator, or if it sits at the indicator, you should probably swap the battery out. There are a couple of small things to know about this battery check process though. It can only be used when the shutter speed dial is set to anything other than A, the aperture priority mode, regardless of whether you're using the AE finder. It works with any ISO setting. Some cameras only let you check the battery at like ISO 100 or 800. And that if you set the camera to bulb mode, this is the only shutter speed where you must cock the shutter and advance before you can actually do a battery check. I don't know why that's the case, but it is. This is a relatively short and sweet video for my channel, but I hope I've demystified or helped clarify a couple of things about the Canon New F-1 for you. If you have any questions that weren't answered in this video, drop a comment down below and I'll do my best to give you a hand. But that's all I wanted to say for this video, so stay safe and bye bye for now. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at shaka1277 for new pictures every day. If you liked this video and enjoy what I do on the channel, please consider subscribing or checking out my Patreon, where the tiers start at just €1 per month.